Hi, Paige with Paige's Yoga here. You know, it's interesting that we know that our body is really complex and that one spot can impact the other, but sometimes we tend to separate it. We tend to miss the components of how one part of the body is impacting the other. Okay, so this particular movement may surprise you. We'll see. Get a big breath. So a lot of people will naturally come to me and say, my shoulders hurt, my neck hurts, my upper body hurts. What can I do for that? Well, it may surprise you that I'm not going to have you immediately work on that area. No, there's other things you can do there. But I'm going to ask you to try this. I'm going to come off of the pillow I'm sitting on, and I'm going to move that to the side. And what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm going to turn to the angle so you see what I'm asking you to do, which is to hold on to the knees, lift the chest. Good. Now I want you to turn the neck up, the neck, not just the head, but get the neck back, turn up comfortably. Find a spot where you're not straining. Notice where your eyes happen to look, where the neck is. So this is what most people do, is hang the neck forward. The neck is back, I'm turning the head up. Neck is back over the body, and I find a focal point. Okay, and then I bring it back. Go ahead and place your hands behind you. Now, if this is too much on your wrist, you could sit back against something instead. Knees are bent. Okay. So you could do this way. That's fine. I'm going to show it to you this way with the hands back. I'm going to take one foot and I'm going to slide it out. Now, not all the way out, just enough that what happens is the foot lifts. Now, grab a sock. It's kind of like grabbing a sock, the toes curl forward. Okay, now release it, bring it back in. Now, turn the toes up. Listen carefully. My foot didn't lift. I asked you to move the toes up. Okay, now let's try that again. Foot goes out. Grab a sock. Relax the toes. Bring it back in. Leave the foot on the ground. Just turn the toes up. And then put it back down. Let's do that a few more times. Ready? Slides out. Grab a sock. Back in. Toes come up. And they go back down. You may close the eyes by now. Just feel it. Grab a sock. Relax the toes. Slide it back in. Sliding is important to this. Don't just pick it up. Slide the toes up. Good. And let that go. We have the other side to do. Okay, slide that foot just out enough that what you do is curl the toes down towards the floor. Pick up the sock is what it is. Okay? Release it, slide it back in, and turn the toes up. See if you're paying attention to this too. Slow down, slow down. What's the rush? Turn the toes down. Slide it back in. Turn the toes up. Begin to notice what's happening. Could you close the eyes? What seemed not the natural place to move your foot is maybe it's changed. Maybe. Slide back in. Toes go up. Slide it out. Reach for the sock. Slide it back in. Pick the toes up. Let's try one more. I usually like to do these in rounds of 5 or 6. Good. And then we come forward again, right to where we started. Grab hold of the knees. Lean the neck back, turn the head up. And then notice if the place that you first started, maybe it's changed. Maybe the neck is able to have more range of motion without straining to look further. Good. And then you release that. Good. That's a really good example of how the foot and the muscles in the foot, the body's response system, is responding to your upper back. Okay, I'm going to show you from my favorite thing to show people is to take a look at the spine. pelvis. This is your pelvis. It's all related. Your neck is not separated from this. So that when this was busy extending the leg out and moving the muscles in the back of your leg, sides of the leg, top of the leg, it was all connected through the pelvis while it was doing that and went up the spine. Therefore, when we turned it back, we had a different range of motion when we finished it. That's just something for you to assess. Is it the only thing to do? Oh no, plenty. We just did what's called somatic movement though, somatic yoga. I'd suggest try that. Try that a few times, even if you just do that a few times in a week and become more aware of the action of the foot that is tightening places like the back of your knee, like the hamstring, into the neck. Now there's other reasons this neck gets tight, don't get me wrong. One thing I'd love to see people do is to be able to stop leaning forward in the neck. And when I say pull the neck back, instead of turning this area up, is to learn to pull the neck back. Notice the curve in the neck is still there, but what I've learned to do is to take from the body hanging forward is to pull the neck over the pelvis so that you have the vertebrae directly over the pelvis bones. Try that. Some other things that I would put into place right now, we're not going to do this on this video, but it could be a really good opportunity to try some myofascia release. Grab a ball, absolutely, any size ball. Lie down on the back now and try this in the upper back, you know, the one that you're avoiding. Sure, try all over the back, the low back. Notice it. I'd probably, if I had time, be interested in trying the legs, quadriceps, hamstrings, calves, even the foot to see what happens. To see if any releasing from the myofascia release, the ball, helps it. Careful not to roll it. Everybody's into rolling. The problem is it's not how fascia releases. It may feel good for the moment to roll something out, but fascia actually needs some pressure against it. Like deep tissue, it's myofascia. Like cupping, myofascia. Ball release presses against the muscle 1 to 3 minutes. Leave it there. And then move it to a new spot. Begin to notice what happens to the fascia as it begins to release after holding in place with something that's pressing against it. I hope this helps. Look at the other videos as well for some other somatic yoga movement, some other myofascia movement, some meditation maybe to finish off and understand the relationship maybe between your breath, your mind, and your body. I hope this helps. Have a good day for no reason.